all to see me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Demon Appreciation Podcast episode 27. Whew, we have a lot to say. We kind of started the show before we hit the live button because we had so much to say. Persona news, lots of things to talk about, so no rambling. I'll just get right into it. We have two returning guests here, but we have a new face as well. Jodie, JCat, welcome to the Demon Appreciation Podcast. I'm glad to have you on. Would you like to introduce yourself and explain what you do to our people listening?
Hi everyone, thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm really honored to be invited on this podcast. I've been listening to this podcast for quite a while, and the three guys here are absolutely awesome and amazing. Basically, I'm just a random person online on the internet that for some reason I just like looking at the Japanese sales and everything. I'm not like an Atlus content creator. I'm not in the Atlus High Council. I'm just a complete fraud, and I got invited on fraudulently, so I'm very happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here as well. Now, you are great with your sales analysis on Twitter and all that stuff. That's where I found you at first, I think, or was it during like an OJ video or something? I'm not too sure, but your content is great. And you guys should check her out for sure. Link to her social media down in the description below. Thank you for joining us, Jodie. For real.
Thank you.
Also, we have a returning guest, Katana Rikku. How you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Thank you so much for having me on once again. Always a pleasure to just talk to you guys. King. And this is the first time I've actually talked to Jodie, which is freaking awesome, like on voice chat, and obviously David Cast too. So this is awesome. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And of course, co-host King Narukami 45. How you doing, mate?
We won, baby! We fucking won! We did it!
Certainly did. Okay, there's a lot to say. Where do we want to start with this thing?
Let's start with your reaction.
I'll start with the context, maybe, for those who didn't know. It all happened so fast and it was unexpected, so I'll give some context. Yesterday, Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase. Honestly, at 6 a.m. before the leak happened, if you told me this would happen, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 5 Royal, all coming to PC and Xbox, I would tell you, you're completely insane. It's not happening. But there's one person on Twitter who leaked the whole state of play from last week, an hour before the show, and they leaked it like perfectly. Like it was completely perfect. No issues. And this person decided that he was going to tweet, or they were going to tweet, Persona, and they wrote it in a way where there was number 3, 4, and 5 in there. So people were like, holy crap, what's gonna happen during the Xbox show? Something Persona 3, 4, 5? Or is it PC gaming show or something? Interesting. What is gonna happen? And it happened. So during the show, they revealed, Atlus and Microsoft revealed that Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and also Persona 4 Royal are coming to Game Pass and PC via the Windows Store. Very, very, very interesting reveal. I'm sure some of y'all probably watched King and I's reaction to the Xbox showcase. My dumbass was taking a piss when they revealed it. And of course, King was there to entertain you all, which was a funny moment. Great moment, to say the least, but definitely a very, very surprising reveal. And today there was some other news as well that I do want to explain and give context for, which I feel is going to be important for today's discussion. Earlier today, there's a media outlet, and I'm sorry I don't have the name next to me right here, but they kind of leaked that a press release from Atlus West, which said that the game is also going to release on PC, that was confirmed, but via Steam, so it's going to be on Steam as well. So shout out Steam Deck players, and also PlayStation 5, which is strange. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I need to give the context to this press release. I made a video today, an Atlus News episode. Some of y'all probably watched it, others probably didn't. And I've seen some of the comments, people doubting the information that I was sharing about the PS5 version and the Steam version. Now, Atlus didn't explicitly say it, so you are correct in doubting the information. That being said, it is a press release that was sent early to a bunch of media outlets. So not just this one, but a bunch of others, large ones as well. And it's real. It really is, because if you look it up, the press release itself, I screenshot it. It's a press release that was written from Irvine, California. Sorry about my pronunciation, but that is the exact location of Atlus West headquarters. And the press release will go public on June 14th, 2022. So tomorrow they will confirm that the game is also coming on Steam and PlayStation 5. That's the context that I wanted to give for today. Now, let me ask my beautiful guests here, what is your reaction to that reveal? Yesterday's reveal.
This is honestly just like the craziest thing. First off, I would have never expected it to happen if it wasn't leaked before. So like if this wasn't leaked, I probably would have fell out of my chair, because the way he was like building, he was building towards saying like, we've been like working with Japanese devs, blah blah blah, our partners at Atlus. The way he built up to that, if we didn't get a leak, this would have been insane. But I'm just really happy. Yeah, I'm just really happy that it finally happened. This is like the best thing that could have ever happened to the series.
Same. I think it's a fantastic announcement. I'm glad to see that these games are finally going multi-platform. Of course, some of them are really quite old. Persona 3 Portable's really old, and it's pretty much been locked to the PSP and I guess the Vita digitally as well. And to finally get these games, and they're going on Game Pass, which means that Atlus got a bag. I think that's great. The press release, you're correct, that did go to loads of different news outlets, including Eurogamer. So it's completely legit, the press release. But yeah, it's great news. Great news, but there's some caveats, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we certainly will. King, I'm sure people heard your reaction, but do you want to share your reaction again?
People didn't hear 75% of my reaction, but I'm glad they didn't, because their eardrums would really be hurting today. But it's great news. Atlus finally listened. If you told me that, I could have believed one port, but if you would have told me 3, I would have thought that you're crazy. I think we all would have. So, I mean, it's great news, and we have a lot to talk about. Not just, the consoles is coming on, but also the timing of everything. But I'm really excited to talk about this today.
All right, and we have a lot to talk about now. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about, including, like, the versions that were revealed on which platform. It was revealed during a Microsoft show, and I do want to put this out there. Clearly, they paid for this announcement. Can we just
yes,
I agree.
100%. If it's like a game can't be on Game Pass without being paid, so if they paid for it,
Also, like Windows Store and everything, 100%.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you all, because I learned something today, if it's accurate, and King mentioned it before you all joined the chat, but there is some type of how should I call that? An embargo?
It's also a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt.
Microsoft, they have some type of 40-hour embargo for reveals like this, so that's kind of the reason why it was not revealed for Steam and PS5 at first, and it's only going to be revealed tomorrow. Have you guys ever heard of such a thing? It was my first time hearing about it today.
So I've actually heard that too. That's been discussed in the sales community about there being this embargo, and I think it may have applied to some other games, but yeah, I've heard something like that too.
I've only heard about it like just today, and I guess it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense indeed, because
platforms.
Right, because all eyes are on them. Like, we made all of our videos yesterday, it was all Xbox and PC. Exactly, no PS5, so their competitor wasn't there. So I get it. I get why they did it.
That's the smart thing about like marketing, rights. Like we would expect it's everywhere, but like people who don't pay attention to everything, they would think it's only on Xbox. Like I'm talking like the general person, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Same thing for like,
smart.
you know, when they have a marketing deal for, let's say back in the day, like the Call of Duty games, Microsoft paid for a certain one. No, well, all the ads for that game are in their shows and not in Sony's. Well, it's kind of the same scenario here.
Yeah.
Which, again, PS5 and Steam versions should get confirmed tomorrow. There's
So
an obvious... Yeah, you go ahead.
Do you mind me giving an example of this right quick? Because
No.
I actually have the Reddit post about that pulled up, and I sent it to you earlier. Wulong Fallen Destiny.
Yeah.
They accidentally got that press release, like Atlus did, leaked as well. That press release announcing the multi-platform release is dated for June 14th. Years ago as well, yeah, when Scarlet Nexus was unveiled at the Xbox events, it wasn't confirmed for additional platforms until like 24 hours later.
See?
So that could be the case as well. So I wouldn't say that. That press release was a leak. Someone leaked that today from Atlus. So whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. But then, you know, you got places like Eurogamer and Wario64 confirming it on Twitter. All these places saying that they got press releases about it and everything. So I think it's true, and I 100% think that that embargo thing's real.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, there's no doubt in my mind. Totally. The first thing that I want to talk about, and we're not going to start with the elephant of the room, which is the platforms. I want to start with something else, and that would be Persona 3 itself, and the fact that they chose Persona 3 Portable. What do you guys think about that?
I can tell you one thing, right? So first of all, when this was announced, and when the Atlus JP account finally did tweet it, and they did, like, you know, the little Persona 25th times, you know, the little animation they do with Teddy and Morgana, and they, you know, they had the voice actors there, and they were the voice actors say, "Oh, it's coming to Xbox," and this is only a Japanese account, by the way. It's coming to Xbox.
Oh yeah.
The comments on that were just absolutely were amazing. That it went down like a fucking lead balloon, right? We know now that it's not PS4, not Switch, but we know at least PS5. It went down by like a lead balloon, and you didn't even need to be able to read Japanese. You could just see through the comments. The thing that came up in the Japanese comments as well was, we want a remake. No, not portable. Can you do a remake? Can you do a remake? So it's not just on the English-speaking international side where people were hoping for some sort of definitive version. It seems like it's pretty much the majority of people were hoping for some sort of definitive version or remake. So yeah. I think it's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's really interesting what you're saying here, because obviously in the West, a Persona 3 remake is like, whenever you talk Atlus remake, that's the obvious pick for a ton of people. I'm not in part of those. I just want to say this, but it's something that people in the West want. So I'm glad to hear. Well, I'm glad. I mean, it's interesting info that it's the similar scenario in Japan. Very, very interesting stuff. There's also just the fact that it's portable and not FES. And for those listening that don't know the difference, well, there's a few, but the main difference is FES has a ton of animations, HD cutscenes and stuff like that, while P3P is kind of a point-and-click visual novel type of thing, except when you're in Tartarus and in battle, where it's obviously the same thing. And there's other things, right? In Portable, there's the female main character that you can see on screen right now. There's also party control in terms of combat. There's new music, etc. So different versions. And on this day, there's no real definitive edition of Persona 3. So what I was hoping for was an HD re-release of Persona 3 FES, where you get the answer plus party control from Portable and the music from Portable. That was like my best case scenario. But yeah, I feel like they chose the easiest route.
Yeah. So I think the path of least resistance, right? You had, it's not ideal, but you have the female main character and some, you know, additional social links and things in that version and the party control. So I don't know. I think, like, I don't know if they'd chosen FES, but there was no party control, people wouldn't have been happy with that either. I don't think.
Yeah, for real. There's a lot of things that we can talk about in terms of the differences with the versions, which ones we prefer. What would you guys have preferred in terms of their pick? Are you satisfied with portable? Do you not care about P3? Does that mean that we're not gonna get a remake? It's interesting.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
I'm kind of torn because like I think the presentation aspect of FES is a lot better, but at the same time, I've said it before. I really prefer having control over my party members in a turn-based game, and I think that overall, I'll just have to deal with it. It's not like a bad thing. I definitely like that they do have the portable version. It's just a little weird that it's portable and it's on a console and you'll be playing it on a TV. But I think overall, I think I would just prefer portable just because of the quality of life stuff over the presentation.
I would have to agree, to be honest. I think that's kind of controversial, but I would have to agree because I replayed, the last time that I replayed P3 was portable. Like, I played, not through emulation, I played it on my PSP with a UMD disc, and it was great, honestly. It's a great experience, great game. Plus, I don't know about you all, but when I saw the trailer, when King and I saw the trailer, when P3P came up, holy crap, it looks clean.
Yeah, like it's like upscaled and everying.
It really looks clean. It was crisp. It was beautiful, honestly. So I was glad to see that. It's cool. P4G, of course, is already on Steam, so we kind of know how clean it can look, right? It aged really well, that game. And then there's P5R, which apparently is 60 frames now. So
yes. I know people will say. Yeah, people say it doesn't matter for a JRPG, but I agree. But it just looks so nice at 60.
It matters to me, damn it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it matters. It's a turn-based JRPG.
It's a turn-based JRPG. It doesn't matter.
Oh, no, it did the voice to me. I can't believe it.
No, but honestly, I think I would have to agree with both Rikku and Jodie on this one. Like 30 frames is fine as long as it's stable. If you can do 60 and it's stable, good. Like, I'll take it.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. If you can do that, that's
exactly.
That's fine.
But it's not a must.
I don't think those games were bad when you played them when they were 30.
It's not bad.
That's all I mean, you know.
Exactly.
I just played 106 hours of P5R, 30 FPS. It's still clean. Looks great.
Exactly. Like
Perfect.
you play a DMC game or something and you want 60 frames, it's fine. I get it. But when you're playing a slow turn-based RPG, if it's 30, as long as it's stable, it's fine, in my opinion. But again, for those who wanted that, cool, awesome addition. Now, King, I didn't hear you about P3 though. What was your reaction to P3P being the chosen one?
I would much rather prefer FES because it wouldn't be hard for them, I think, to implement party control. Modders have done it. I mean, you can do it yourself if you want to on PCSX2. Not that hard. I mean, I get that people won't play as a female protagonist. My girlfriend is really excited for that. But I mean, I think they kind of chose it because it has the most quote-unquote new more content. Because if you look at, P3 FES with the answer, which lasts about, 30 hours at most, and then you look at a new campaign and a whole new way of discovering P3, and you get to play as a female protagonist, I think that's why they chose it. It has the more content.
Mm-hmm. And it's an easy port. Like, they don't have to do much. I'm not a developer, so I don't really know, but I have a feeling like to bring back P3P.
PSP games can run on our phones.
Yeah, It's like, super easy.
Yeah.
It's like, and I just gotta say, like, I like visual novel stuff, but the idea of like using that UI on a PS5 is like kind of weird to me. You have this really souped up machine that's going to be running God of War Ragnarok like at 4K. 30-60 FPS, and then you got P3P. Nothing against P3P. I'm just saying it's a
that's fine.
PSP visual novel. So it's just weird to me. I would much rather have preferred FES. I know there's some coding stuff that could go wrong. P3's engine isn't all that great. I've even heard the source code has been lost at some point, but I mean, I still think it's doable. I mean, but that's just me. That's completely
fair. Now, those three Neo Persona games are coming to modern platform. I know that, well, in terms of Xbox, of course, we heard some people here and there asking for Xbox version of those games, especially P5. But I feel like the main one on that list, P5PC, is a game that every single day I would see people asking for that. Like, every single day. It was highly requested. So I'm happy for PC gamers, both PC gamers and Xbox gamers. That is a very good reveal. And that's coming from someone who doesn't play on PC or Xbox. So I'm just glad that it's happening, and it's a very good first step. If you're an Atlus fan, if you're a longtime Atlus fan, you know that this is unusual, and this is a great first step. And I do want to move on into the elephant in the room, which is the lack of PlayStation 4 version, the lack of Switch version as well. We're going to talk about that, but before we do, I do want to shout out everyone who's here tonight watching the show, listening to us talking about Persona tonight. We really appreciate it. Drop a thumbs up if you like the show, and don't forget to show some love to my guest. Link to their social media down in the description below. All right, you guys, Switch version.
The Jodie rant. Let's go.
Yeah, Jodie, you want to start with this one? There's no PS4 version confirmed, no Switch version confirmed, and I think this caused reactions in Japan.
Yeah, so like I said, when the reveal first happened, first of all, it was actually the middle of the night in Japan, so it was between 2 and 4. It must have been closer to 4 a.m. or something like that. And the official Atlus accounts, the Persona 1 and the Atlus JP account, did not tweet it for hours. It was a long time, which understandable because it was the middle of the night there, right? So when they eventually did do it, they did it as a Persona 25th video, as we've seen previous videos before, the little animations with Teddy and Morgana. They had the Japanese voice actor. So funny. They had the Japanese voice actor saying, "Yeah, it's fun. It's coming to Xbox." Honestly, oh, I should have read the comments. The comments were funny. So, yeah. So we got the press release later, or you said the press release was leaked, maybe. So the lack of Switch is bad enough. I'll get back to that. The thing that's absolutely mind blowing and as well as the lack of Switch.
Yes, PS4. Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't.
It makes zero sense.
if it's true, and they are really not putting Persona 3 Portable and Golden on the PS4, that it's like I said before, putting it on the Switch is not bad enough. But if you don't put it on the PS4 for Japan, that's it. It's not going to do anything. And I know they're selling them. I'm assuming there's not going to be any physical versions. I'm assuming this is all digital anyway. So it's not like it's going to be it's not going to chart in Japan anyway, because obviously it's just digital. But the amount of people that are going to be able to access those, even if they wanted to, is very low. You're probably going to end up with more people trying to get them on their PCs rather than PS4, because so few people have a PS5. On paper, about 1.6 million have sold, but there's a big scalping issue where we know that, so we don't know how many are actually in Japan, but it's not as what you see there. Otherwise, you would see way more PS5 games charting, and hardly any of them chart.
Do you know how many PS4? What's the install base for PS4s in Japan?
Yeah, it's just over 9 million.
See, that's insane.
9 million.
They're skipping on 10 million potential sales. It's crazy to me. And I know it's
Do you want to hear how many Switches are in Japan?
How many?
Do you know? It's 25 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
But at the same time, again, as you said, Jodie, we'll get back to Switch in just a bit, but to get back on PS4, the one thing that is hot is that, there's a PS5 version, but there's also an Xbox One version. So there's already
Xbox One and not PS4.
Exactly.
I think there must be some mistake in that. That's another thing, David and other esteemed members of this panel. The Atlus's messaging, the way that they've rolled this out, it's been terrible. There's no problem with putting this I think it's a good thing. I'm happy that they're putting these games on multiple platforms, but the messaging is terrible. Why make a Persona 25th video thing and make it for, because they did it. It was in Japanese.
Yeah.
They had the Japanese voice actors doing it in Japanese, putting it on the Japanese channel, and saying it's coming to Xbox, and every single comment was like, "Where's the Switch version? Where's the PlayStation version? Where's Switch? Where's PlayStation?" Like the amount of Xboxes, and in case you don't know how many Xbox Series X and S in Japan, it's 220,000.
It's crazy.
Xbox One's 100,000 sold, but most of those are inactive. Right. So I just told you how many Switches and PlayStations are in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fact that the other thing that people were upset about at the time was no Steam version.
Right.
So because it's not ideal for PC players. So their messaging has been very bad. Their platform choices are very bad. And I know you probably want to talk to the other people, but I just want to say, like, in the sales community and the people that I interact with that are on forums and on Twitter, they're kind of they're a bit down on the situation, to be honest with you. They're like, the people were like, they were popping off, and people, honestly, they were absolutely wilding when this announcement came out, because the Switch has so much. Because even I said, okay, you think, oh well, there's 10 million PlayStation, so they've got about half the software market. No, it's like way lower. They have maybe it's less than 20%, less than 20% of the market. It's like overwhelmingly Switch, and more than that is the Switch's market share is going up. That's the other thing that's happening, because PlayStation 4 sales are dropping so faster than I thought, actually, and the PlayStation 5 is not replacing it. But yeah, Atlus's messaging is around the announcement hasn't been great. They should have. I know this is embargo situation with Xbox. If they'd waited and announced the platforms at once, and then did the Persona 25th times thing like that, then because people were actually upset, to be honest with you. Even if you read the Japanese comments, they were not happy.
Yeah, and I want to make it clear for anyone listening to us, we're not hating against the reveal. All four of us, we think it's a great reveal. They did well, and it's great that they're going multiplat. Okay, we just want to make that clear. But at the same time,
it's fantastic.
Exactly.
I want to make that clear as well. It's fantastic. Just the messaging and the way they rolled it out is not good.
That, and the fact it's normal that we're all surprised of the lack of PlayStation 4 version and Switch, and we only talked about Japan, but it's kind of the same thing in the West. Like JRPGs, Xbox, they don't sell as much. It's just a fact. So we're just taking that into consideration. And it kind of leads me into another segment that I wanted to talk about. And it's those other versions that are not confirmed. I'm going to start with this one. I don't want to say 100%, but I'm extremely confident that those 3 games are coming to Switch.
I'm not.
I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe it's announced at a Nintendo Direct or something. But like, why would they wait? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I just want to address something quickly. Someone said in the chat, Farouk Talbi, PC popular is super gaming in Japan. I mean, gaming PCs. No, it's not. Historically, PC gaming has actually been very, very low in Japan. It's growing now. There's historical reasons for that, and the fact that back in the day they didn't use a unified operating system. They didn't move to Windows until really late, because they had their own PCs and their own different PCs they had there, like the NECs and everything. So that's the reason. I think you're getting it confused with South Korea, where PC gaming really is very popular, because Japanese consoles were banned there for decades. The same with China as well, actually. So Farouk, that's not exactly true, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they plus portable systems are always extremely popular, right? In Japan, that's their thing. It's kind of the reason why there's so many Switches in Japan. And it's not all about Japan, as I mentioned. There's also just RPGs and their sales on Xbox. Now, it's not really a sales thing with Xbox, in my opinion, with this reveal, because they're all going to Game Pass anyways. And Atlus, they got their check for this, which is good. Like, good for them. Perfect. But I think they would be crazy to skip on all the other sales that they can get from other platforms. I don't know what you guys think about this one now.
I
do want-
1000% agree. I mean, if you miss out on the biggest install bases in Japan for Japanese JRPGs, I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. I mean, it's just common. It's just common shit. I mean, we're not complaining about the lack of PS4 and Switch. So people are saying, "Cope and seethe." Oh, cope and seethe, you guys. Just stop. I mean, we're not. We're just saying it doesn't make sense, financially. They could easily put this on PS4.
It doesn't make sense. I've said to you, King, we've talked about this before. They could have put Persona 4 Golden on the PlayStation 4 in 2014. There was nothing stopping them doing that. The Switch didn't exist.
Right.
It didn't exist then. There was nothing stopping them doing that. This is Atlus, and also like I have been saying this for the longest time. I've been said like forever. Basically, I said I don't think that Sony has got there's some secret deal, there's some secret exclusivity thing where they're keeping. I said they're de facto. I detailed it out like extensively as to why I believe they were de facto exclusives, and it's basically this is Atlus with. They're just making bad business decisions. So I know people wanted to believe for a long time it's just some sort of Sony conspiracy. It was not a conspiracy. It's hard to believe that a company that can make games so good can make business decisions so bad. But it's honestly is the truth.
Yeah, it really is. I think now's the time to bring something back. One of my favorite moments in Atlus history. When they said that they were surprised that P4G did well on PC. I think that proves what Jodie just said. Like, they're clueless and they're kind of mismanaged as well, and it sucks because their games, they're all masterpieces. Like all of it, when you play their games, you're like, oh my god, this is good, this is banger, it's polished, it's great, fantastic music, banger gameplay, great story, etc. But when you look at their business decisions, you get them being surprised that P4G did well on PC, and the install base for PC is insane. P4G sold over 1 million on a system that pretty much flopped, being the Vita. So of course it was gonna do well on PC, and I fully expect them to say the same bullshit whenever it releases on PS4 or Switch or whatever. Yeah, what's up?
I want to remember my favorite quote. Because of the success of P4G on Steam, we have decided to port P4AU to consoles.
It sold 7K
that was
in
my
its first
favorite
week as
quote
well.
of all time. That was my favorite quote of all time.
I think we're probably gonna hear something. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, King. My bad.
I'm just bullshitting. It's fine.
All right. I was gonna say we're probably gonna see something or hear them say something like that again with P5 on Steam, because if P4 could sell 1 million, I think P5 is gonna really sell extremely well.
Oh, totally.
It's gonna be crazy.
Listen, I can understand P5R. That could take some development time on Switch. I mean, you could say regular P5 would do just fine and everything. That's fine. It's just that it could require some development time.
Yeah, it can, but the engine's still a PS3 engine.
Right. Yeah. Well, they kind of changed it up for Catherine Full Body, and that's what they used there. They upgraded it a little bit, so it is an upgraded version. From what I understand, I could be wrong, but it is an upgraded version of the engine, from what I understand.
Even if you're correct, if they wanted to do it, they could do it.
Oh yeah, they definitely could do it. Now I'm not talking about like cloud version. No, they could make this shit work. If you can make Dying Light and all these great looking third-party games, AAA games, Doom Eternal and everything, run and look great on Switch, you can get Persona 5 Royal. It's a turn-based JRPG, for God's sake.
People have to remember that P5R, not P5R, but P5 is a PS3 game.
Right.
It's a PS3 game, you guys. It's a slow-ass turn-based RPG, a PS3 RPG. It can absolutely run on Switch. As you said, Catherine Full Body uses the P5 engine already. Of course, it probably wouldn't be 60 frames. It would be the PS4 versions. Well, not the direct port, of course, but it would be like based on the PS4 version, not that new version, which is perfectly fine. It really is. Lower the resolution, make it stable, and it's fine. It would do really well. And yeah, Dying Light's an example, but there's a ton of other ports on Switch that, like Dragon Quest XI S. That port is a port of a PS4 RPG, a JRPG that is really similar to Persona in terms of like performance, like when you travel around the world and stuff, and it's even more open, so I assume it would be even harder to run it. Maybe I'm wrong, but when I look at Dragon Quest XI running on Switch, which it runs pretty much flawlessly, I'm looking at P5 and I'm like, ain't no way that this can't run on my Switch. Ain't no way.
That's actually the first version I played, was the Switch version.
Me too.
Of Dragon Quest.
Me as well.
Great game.
Absolutely. And even SMT5. I know it was built
Unreal
up
Engine,
for the ground up for Switch, but it's an Unreal Engine game, and it's great. It has a couple of flaws here and there, but it looks just as great, and if not better than P5 on PS4.
Oh yeah,
You can pretty much summarize it like this. PS4 and Switch are the two biggest selling consoles in Japan right now. This is a JRPG we're talking about. Games that release in Japan on Switch typically do their best sales and everything. I'm sure we're going to see Demon Slayer, which got a late Switch port. I'm sure we're going to see Soul Hackers 2 on Switch.
Yep.
The point is that it's not going to fail if they put it on Switch. The only way it could fail is if they went the Kingdom Hearts route and made it a cloud version.
It wouldn't fail, and 13 Sentinels, it just improves my point. That game released over a year. It's a year-old port. Even it's even longer than that. It's September 2020 and it released in April. So it's a year-old port, almost 2-year-old port of a PS4 game, straight port, full price $60, and it sold really well. It sold really well.
It sold really well in Japan.
Exactly.
And the thing is with the Switch especially is that they could even these games don't even need to be at direct. They could just shadow drop these, and they would sell gangbusters on the Switch in particular. Because if you think about it, like the 13 Sentinels didn't do a crazy. They did some promotion marketing for it, but didn't do a crazy amount of it, and that still sold well. So I think for Xbox is a different situation. They do need to put that in a showcase and say, look, we have these games. They're on Game Pass. You don't even need to do that for PlayStation and Switch, because the audiences there are very, very receptive to those games, and that's obviously where a lot of the audience is for these sort of games.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to talk about with this one. We do have some questions, and I'm sure if we keep going, we're gonna answer most of them. So maybe we could just get right into it, if you guys don't mind.
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I'll start with not Discord. I'll start with the Twitter questions. Now I didn't filter anything, right? So I'm skimming through them at the same time as we're saying this. Yeah.
Twitter unfiltered.
Now, this question comes from Gustavo, asking, do you think P3P will be expensive or cheap, since the game is just a port of a PSP game? I think I would like to ask that question, but also for P4G, in terms of let's say the PS5 and Steam version. How are you going to price those games? I'm looking at P4G, for example. I'm looking at 25 USD at launch, both for
30.
P3P. Maybe a little more for P5?
I'm
40
thinking
for P5R.
40 for P5R?
Definitely around that for P5R. I think 20 for P4 personally. P3 maybe 20 as well.
Jodie?
20 for P3, 30 for P4, and 40 for P5.
All right, so let me say something else then. Catherine, Full Body, and Nocturne HD were both released at 50.
Yes, I'm hoping Atlus makes a good move this time.
13 Sentinels was 60 on Switch.
That was full price.
P5 will probably be full price.
I think P5R is gonna, it's probably gonna be full price.
If it's full price, I know PC gamers are not gonna appreciate that.
Oh no!
On Switch, I'm not worried.
It doesn't matter. They're still
this is
going
to Xbox and oh no, okay. So on Xbox, it's not as big of a deal because it's going to be on Game Pass. PC, they're going to make it. I've got a feeling they're going to make it full price. I think it's going to be full price.
Just before we move on to the just before we move on to the next question, I do want to shout out to my man Peter Parker with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, Peter. Much appreciated. And that's a very interesting point that he brings up here, and I want to have you guys' take on it. He says, if the Persona ports aren't announced at the Direct, which is the one Direct for June that we assume is going to happen, rumored for the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. He says if the ports aren't announced at that Direct, then they're never going to happen. It's never happening. Switch owners should consider buying a Steam Deck.
Oh man.
I wouldn't consider buying a Steam Deck. Okay? I think it's a big old ugly thing. I don't want that. But I know King loves the Steam Deck. I know he loves it. I'm just not. I'm not.
Breathe. I gotta breathe.
I've got my old Vita here, so I'm alright. Basically, so this is what's in the sales community. What people they've kind of resided to. Well, you know, Atlus is just they're not going to support the Switch anymore. I don't know if I'm going to go quite that far, but the fact that you've got Soul Hackers 2 skipping Switch, and the marketing for that game has been bad, and yes. Now we've got possibly well, it seems to me like that these games might skip Switch as well. If they do, then I think that's it. I'm tending to agree that, like, okay, well, Atlus have decided that platform is not their priority moving forward. I would say, because if they're not, why they'd be held back for a Direct, I don't know. That seems, I don't know if that's really the best decision.
Yeah, I'm not feeling a Direct reveal at all. I'm just gonna say that, and the reason for that is because if it was already planned for Switch at the time that we're talking here, if it would get revealed alongside the PS4, the PS5 version and Steam version tomorrow.
I still think the Switch version would. No, I think the Switch version would be a big deal.
No, it would be. I mean, if it was happening right now, if right now there's a Switch port on Atlus in Atlus HQ, right now at the moment that we're talking, it would get revealed tomorrow at the same time as the PS5 and Steam version. Now that the Xbox and Windows Store embargo lifted, that's when they would reveal it. So I'm not feeling the Direct reveal 2 weeks after. What?
It doesn't make any sense. I'm tending to agree with you, David. I feel like it doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would, for that to happen, that to be rolled out in Nintendo, that would have to have been Nintendo's decision, presumably, because it's happened for some other titles. It happened for
Catherine for Body was in the Direct Mini.
Yeah, Catherine for Body, and what was that? What's that Square Enix game with the kind of point and click? I forgot what it's bloody called now. Life is Strange. Yeah, it happened with Life is Strange. True Colors. Yeah. It was the same thing that was held back for a Direct announcement, but I feel like it was like a shorter time period. So I actually think it's not going to happen. And if Atlus have decided that like prioritizing a Switch version of their games it's just not a priority for them, good luck in Japan. I don't know what else to say really about that.
And I do feel like again, the Direct reveal I think won't really happen, not this month's Direct, because if it was the case it would be revealed tomorrow, as I mentioned, but I do think it can happen later down the line, maybe next to a PS4 reveal or something. Same thing for Soul Hackers 2. Like, Soul Hackers 2, I'm sorry, it's probably going to underperform on all the other platforms, and they're gonna look at SMT5 sales and they're gonna be like, hell, what did we do? We should probably, well, at least I'm hoping that they're gonna realize that, because Soul Hackers, in my opinion, needed the Switch more than those Persona games, because if they bring them to PS4 and PS5, they're gonna sell. Now, Soul Hackers 2, on the other hand, it's the revival of a 25-year-old series. It needed the Switch version. That's just my opinion. It feels even more odd than those Persona games. And I know it's odd. Again, I'm not going against everything that we said before, but the Soul Hackers 2 it's even worse, in my opinion.
Can I say something about that?
For sure.
I kind of feel like this announcement of the Persona ports has overshadowed Soul Hackers 2. To be honest, and now this is something I said before when it was just rumored or this was gonna happen. I said my thing was like, well, I don't think they'll do that because that would stomp all over Soul Hackers 2, and that's why I don't think that. I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen. I don't think. I mean, I was completely wrong. They did do it, and like I said, it's a good thing. But the timing because these, what we're talking about, these are old ass games. These games are so old, you know. But yet they're so revered that it's completely overshadowed. And to have that with the marketing. And the Western marketing in particular has been bad because all basically the Western marketing pretty much consisted of just the 50-second trailer at the Summer Game Show, and some people are thinking it was going to show up at it might be at Xbox. You know, that was the next thing. Well, it turned out it wasn't. It was these Persona games, and I think that is most of the marketing there is going to be for this game, you know, and it's you know as it is in Japan, it's not tracking well, and unfortunately I feel like their marketing plans and the way that they've planned out things is not going to be good for this game. That they basically said they wanted to be a third pillar of the company alongside Persona and SMT, and it's unfortunate because Soul Hackers 2 looks like it will be a great game, and I feel like it's just not getting the marketing it needs. I feel like they've made a misstep with that.
Yeah.
I think that
someone pointed out in the Kuzunoa Detective Agency, follow you on Twitter and everything, Soul Hackers 2 comes out in August. We won't see P5R re-release until October. Yes, that's true, but still, that's a small amount of time, and assuming they are going to charge $60 for P5R, most people are going to skip Soul Hackers and buy P5R if they haven't played it yet.
What I think would be better for Soul Hackers is if they, because it seems like they're going backwards, P5 first and then P4 and P3. I feel like if they started this year with P3 and P4 and then maybe P5 came out next year, I think that'd be a lot easier on Soul Hackers. Because it's not like a full price game competing against each other.
Yeah.
I think the order might be to do with the development time of it, because for Persona 3 Portable, there's no HD version of that, so that requires more work than the other two games which are already in HD. So I think that might be the reason for the gap.
Also, the fact that I do want to mention that as well. I didn't include it in my context, but it's super important. Phil Spencer said that all the games that were shown to be coming to Game Pass are going to release in the next 12 months. Meaning that it's going to release, the P3P and P4G are going to release on Xbox and PC. Well, P4G is already on PC, but P3P will release before June 2023. So it's close as well.
Yeah.
Something
they're going to put
in mind.
P4 on PC twice.
They are, because it's going to be on the Windows Store.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when are they going to come out with this PS5 information? When's the PS5 and the Steam versions going to drop? That's the question.
Alongside the Xbox versions.
I know, but I know if that thing about the embargo is true and Microsoft did pay that money, and that's all it is, and it's not like exclusive. They never mentioned a release date for the PS5 or Steam in that press release.
No.
So
I think they would be at the same time, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that Microsoft their chart, does it say when does it just say 2023 for P3, or did they have like
2023?
2023, yeah.
Oh really?
But it's gonna be early because it's tops June maximum. That's like the latest that they can do, according to what Phil Spencer said. Now, it's really interesting. There's a lot of room for speculation on this one.
Now with P5R getting a PS5 release, I saw this question earlier in your chat, David, if you don't mind me asking it.
Not at all.
will we get? This is going to be a funny one. Will we get free upgrades to the PS5 version of the P5R?
Oh
We
boy.
on PS4.
Oh boy. I'm
Oh,
hoping
no.
that it's gonna
Probably
happen.
not. Probably not.
Unfortunately,
No.
I would have to agree. It sounds like something that Atlus wouldn't do. Free upgrade?
I think they're gonna make it a separate SKU.
Oh
You
my
just have
God.
2 Persona
No.
5 Royals on the shop. That's gonna be
They
so
can't.
weird.
They can't.
But they've
because
done
at
it.
the
There's
same
like there's
time-
other games that are like that. So
Yeah, but the Game
Sure.
Pass release, the Xbox release, is just called P5R. It's not like Persona 5 Royal Complete or Persona 5 Royal Plus Director's Cut. I don't know, HD Remaster. It's nothing like
there's-
that.
it's just-
So
they're just straight ports. They're all straight ports with no additions to these games. They're just
exactly.
straight ports.
Oh my God, I can't believe. No, you know what I think they're gonna do? Just gonna ignore the PS5. Like the 60
Who's-
frames on PS5. It's just gonna be the PS4 version. Oh no. They
Please.
said they're releasing it on PS5. The 60 frames will be exclusive to PS5. That's what they're gonna do.
It's got to be 60 FPS on PS5, or else there wouldn't be a need for a PS5
It'd
version.
be the exact same game, if not.
Yeah.
Just maybe in 4K, because Royal on the PS4 Pro, I believe, is 1440p.
Oh boy.
So it's
Oh,
just the
man.
same game. There's just, or maybe they will do an upgrade.
There
I don't
has
know
to,
if they'll
there has to be a
upgrade
60 FPS PS5 version. It has to be.
Because
I'm sorry.
it's
I know
like
you are going to say it
game.
doesn't matter for a turn-based JRPG, but if you're going to make a PS5 version of Persona 5 Royal, it has to be 4K 60 FPS. I'm sorry.
And if it's
yeah,
not,
no, it will be if they are making a separate version. Then yeah, I agree with you, King. Otherwise it's pointless. It's the same game.
it's kind of funny to think about the fact that if they don't do it, the definitive
It's
way
just
to play
4K 30 FPS.
the definitive way to play P5 would be on Xbox.
That's so backwards.
They never specifically, that could have been PC footage that we saw. I mean, you never know. I mean, I'm sure the
right.
Xbox Series S and X will run at 60, but so it's confirmed to be on 60 on one platform. Now, Xbox One definitely not, but
I do want to move on to the next question that we have, which is an interesting question, and it was part of the discussions on Twitter today for sure, and yesterday as well after the reveal. It's all good. It's all Neo Persona. But what about Persona 1, Persona 2? This question comes from Grumple, sorry. How do you think Atlus could bring back the classic Persona games, P1, P2, Innocent Sin, P2, Eternal Punishment? And what platform would you think they'd do best on? Also,
they
your
don't
reaction...
and just release art.
Also, your reaction yesterday was absolutely hilarious. Well, thank you for watching the stream yesterday, friend. Persona... I think... Honestly, I don't even know what to think about those games. I don't know.
So,
I'm confused.
so for me, I think since they've proven that they will just port over a PSP game, they could just port the PSP version of I think it was Persona 1 and 2, right? Or is it just Persona 1 on PSP?
Persona 1
They could just
and
port those over and just put them everywhere. They've proven that they'll do it with Persona 3 Portable, so just do that, I guess.
Would they
think that
bring
would-
back Eternal Punishment, the PSP version, though? Because that one was never officially
Yes,
localized.
they would have to. I feel like they couldn't just bring over the PS1 version like they did.
That's a lot of work.
I know. And that will require work. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to do it.
The last time that they put a lot of work into it, localization, it was to bring Shin Megami Tensei to iOS. Listen to their decisions.
Say
They're
that.
so great. They're so
Nocturne received a new localization. When
No,
they
it's a new
remastered it.
localization. I mean, a game that was never localized that they
Oh,
brought
okay,
back
gotcha.
officially for the
Yeah.
first time. Eternal
Yeah.
Punishment was
Only
already
official-
localized. Yeah, but not the PSP version, just the PS1 version. But if you want, you can get a physical version for just about $300. It's pretty cheap.
I don't think it released in Europe. I don't think there was one of them that didn't release in Europe. The second
Oh.
Persona 2 game. Yeah.
That's Eternal
It didn't
Punishment.
ever- yeah, Eternal
Yeah.
Punishment. I don't think it ever released in Europe. Yeah.
Quite possibly.
I feel so bad for like fans of 1 and 2, just because like it's just another example of them just not really paying attention to the first 2 games.
Did you see that little comic strip that's been going around on Twitter? With the character saying that our game did exist, didn't it, Maya? It did exist.
Oh
did you see that?
Yeah.
Man.
Shout outs to Super Gamer Guy 64 with this $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. It's much appreciated. Atlus can't wait to have Persona 5 for the third time on PS5.
I think I've gone on record and said I would buy a 60 FPS version, so
Oh,
I
shit.
probably would still buy
You're
it.
in
I
trouble.
would pay $60 for a 60 FPS version. I'm sorry, I would.
I don't understand
There you
Atlus
go.
Sims. I would never buy a $300 collector's edition. You gotta be
Oh,
one hell of a
oh my
dumbass.
god, you fuck. Oh, come on, you fucking simp. I will never get over that shit.
300.
First, you get your Steam Deck, you sell that shit, and then you get this stupid ass, overpriced, no one gives a shit about Soul Hackers 2 Collector's Edition that you could buy in Chinese for $100, but no, I gotta get the official Western release, pay $25 of shipping and taxes, and get fucked in the ass by them. You simp. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your shit.
It costs 313 Canadian. That's what I paid for it with shipping. Yeah, that's problematic, and I would have to agree with everything that
Fucking
you mentioned.
dumbass.
Yeah, my cheeks are wide
With
open.
expectations.
Apparently.
I like it when your cheeks are wide open.
All right, move on. Shout out Super Gamer Guy. Thank you so much for the super chat. We have another super chat coming in from Rhythm Straw. Thank you so much for the $5, my friend. Much appreciated. Persona 4, Persona 3 Portable are getting FIGS languages, hence 2023. Awesome. You love to see it. Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you so much for the support,
great.
Rhythm Straw. We also have a friend of the channel and the artist behind everything on David Cast JRPGs, Adam Bowser, with the super chat. Thank you, Adam. Very, very appreciated. Atlus might want people to double dip for Persona 3, 4, 5, and Soul Hackers 2 on Switch. Can't think of anything else. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they probably. Here's the thing: if they put them as late ports, they would probably still sell. Because the thing you need to remember is Joker is in Super Smash Brothers, and that game sold like, what was it, that 40 million. So there's a lot of people that are familiar with the character, even if they might not be familiar with the game that he's originally from. I know they've got Strikers or whatever, and then there's that 3DS game, but yeah. So there were people that would buy it purely for that reason. Even like I said, even if they did no advertising, they just shadow dropped it on there. People that they would know that character and they would sell for that reason. The other two wouldn't sell as well. And yeah, that does happen with some companies with late ports, and there will be people that will double dip, but I'm not sure that the majority of people do double dip. Maybe it's just some hardcore gamers. I don't know if
Interesting. Interesting point.
I'm
want
not
to
really
add on
sure.
this.
I
No,
don't.
that's a good point that you just brought up. I have something to say about this. I'll take myself as an example. I own a PC that I don't game on, like not at all, just for video edit and stuff. I have a PS5 and I have a Switch.
You had a Steam Deck.
I had a Steam Deck, no regrets. I sold it.
Well, that's a
Dumbass.
PC.
See,
That's
this
That's a
motherfucker.
PC thing.
buy
So he
shit.
had 2 PCs. That's what he had.
This,
Yeah, I had two
this
pieces, yeah.
motherfucker buy shit like his Xbox Series X that he had, sold that shit. He buys a Steam Deck. Oh, I'm not really interested. Sells that shit. He buys Valhalla for the Switch, which is pretty pricey. Oh,
Pretty
2
mid.
hours and I'm gonna give up and play Yakuza 6. Quits that shit. This motherfucker right here is not consistent whatsoever. I love you, David. Please invite me on the show again.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, yeah, I never double dip. Whenever I double dip, like Soul Hackers 2 is a good example. I'm gonna play it on PS5 and I'm gonna enjoy my time with it, 100%. But if it comes to Switch, which is my favorite platform, yeah, I would double dip. That's what I did for 13 Sentinels. That game is like top 20 games of all time. Of course I was gonna buy it now that it's on my favorite system of all time. That's just normal.
I own
but
8 copies
never-
of Persona 5.
Yeah, I own all the
No, you
versions.
don't. 8
I do.
copies?
Yeah, Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. I think I own 7 or 8.
I own all
Wow.
the versions. I own like the PS3 version, PS4 Greatest Hits, P5R Steelbook, P5R Standard.
Oh, you got the
Yep.
greatest hits versions and all.
I
oh my
do.
God.
We did, yep. And digital versions.
Oh my lord, you guys are hardcore.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, Jodie.
Oh boy. All right, let's keep going with the questions here. Oh my god, interesting one from Mikey RP Gamer. There's a rumor going around about a Persona 5 Akechi game. What's your take, and do you think it's plausible? Now that rumor comes from Zippo, and before we keep going, let me just say he's the only person who called Portable. Everyone told him that he was crazy whenever he brought that up. Hey, it's Portable that they're bringing back.
It just seems kind of random.
Yeah, we need to plunge the shit from his mouth. It's everything that he spews is bullshit.
Yeah,
Stop
I would have to agree.
That's what I would say to people.
He's just great with predictions. I feel like the Akechi game, if that happens, it's so out there that I'll believe him from now on. If the Akechi spinoff is a real thing.
He makes like informed guesses.
Exactly.
The same way we do. So I would invite anybody, whoever asked the question, and other people here, go and look at his blog and go and look at predictions where he's made before. It just keeps throwing stuff out there until some stuff hits.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count P4AU as an intelligent like.
Hey, dude, guess what he said with P4AU. He looked at Atlus. He was like, "These motherfuckers, they can't make good business decision. What would be dumb as fuck? P4AU." That's how he called it. God damn. Thing didn't even sell double digits. It's crazy. Great question, Mikey RP Gamer. For real, do we have other questions on Twitter?
I just want to say Persona 4 Arena is mid as fuck.
I like it, but I'm not into it as much as like
I'm not into fighting
I thought
games.
I would be.
I'm sure if I was, though, it would be a good game. I'll just say
Let's roast me already, guys. I don't care.
I mean, you're not wrong. With these big port announcements out now, do you think Atlus will announce Persona 6 as the finale of the anniversary? Question from C-Mess. Shout out C-Mess. What do you guys think? I'm confident P6 will get revealed at the concert.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the last announcement.
Yeah, I think so too.
Huh, we can all agree on that one.
Stevie Wonder could see that coming.
Zippo. We should invite Zippo and Goomba on the podcast.
He thinks
we need to get Goomba.
That's going to say Persona 6 is an Akechi game.
Hey, we have questions from the Discord now. Shoutouts to the Discord server. Link to join is down in the description below. First question comes from Max. Why do you think Atlus waited so long to... Oh boy, it's in two parts. Sorry. Why do you think Atlus waited so long? To have an investment made into them?
No.
Like, are they talking about like waiting for like Microsoft to bring them a bag so they could take the money and announce this?
No, because at the same time, as you guys mentioned before, if they did this 10 years ago, let's say for P4G, the sales would compensate for that bad that they're getting today. They could even get it today still. Like if those games were on PlayStation, they would still get it back from Microsoft right now.
But Atlus did not think about running a company like that. That you need another company to come and give you a bag to go and put it on their platform, right? And on other platforms where you already know that those games would sell incredibly well. They have access to more data than what we have, right? And even just from us as lay people looking at the data, and we're like, okay, well, those games would sell really well. That really just goes to show the level of mismanagement at Atlus. And someone said in the chat before, Atlus went bankrupt. They've I think they've actually gone bankrupt more than once.
They did.
Or they've been money. They've been, in financial because they don't run their business very well. But they were acquired by Sega in a at auction, basically, as part of the selling off the asset of the Index Corporation, who used to be their parent company. They run their company like it's 2003. When it comes to decisions that they make. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say like I think it would have not. I don't think it would have happened if Microsoft didn't pay. That's just me. I think their Atlus is actually that weird that without Microsoft stepping in, they just probably would have never done it, or it would have just taken forever for them to get around to it.
I think it was coming no matter what before the end of the, because they gotta piece out these announcements for the Persona 25th anniversary, it was going to come. It's just that I think Microsoft, they came with the bag. Atlus was like, hell yeah, give me that money. And they went around. I don't blame them for that one bit.
I agree. I think they were going to do this anyway, and they had been. I think they were being approached by Microsoft. Microsoft not knowing what they had in the pipeline yet. Because it's probably, don't forget, this probably would have happened like over a year ago. It would have been over a year ago or something, right? Because I think as part of that deal, they managed to get Soul Hackers 2 to be put on Xbox, and that's also going to the Windows Store. But what didn't go there? Persona 5 Strikers didn't go to Xbox. We just literally Persona 4 Arena Ultimax literally just came out, and that the previous version of that game has been on the 360, and they did not put that on Xbox because they didn't get a bag for that one.
Yeah.
So I think they were going to do these anyway. Microsoft came with a bag, and it's like, well, what are the next games? What are the next games you've got coming out? Okay, or what you're doing? Well, we've got Soul Hackers 2, and we're going to do these ports. Okay, here's a bag. We'll do that. So I think they were doing these anyway. And that's why it started from. That's why Arena didn't go to Xbox, but these ones did.
I'd do anything for a little bag of money.
Oh god. So could we expect? I guess we could expect Persona 4 Arena Ultimax at some point on Xbox, maybe in the future.
No, I think that's
I don't
done.
think so.
No,
yeah, I think it's done.
No.
It didn't even sell on Switch and
No one gave a fuck then. No one gives a fuck now.
Dang, that's so
That
sad.
really unless it was another situation where Microsoft came with another. I don't see why they would come for that game, but I don't see Atlus putting these games just without a bag on.
Microsoft likes to lose money. They're going to fund a P4AU port to Xbox.
I think they're going to lose money on these ports as well, to be honest.
No, I don't think they'll lose money on this at all. I think I think it'll be like Yakuza. Yakuza did really well on Xbox. I think it's gonna be like that.
But Yakuza is not an anime style turn-based.
Like a Dragon has a lot of stupid anime
appeal.
elements to it.
Yeah, but it has a Western appeal still with the graphics and the Japanese GTA style, right? But that's what they're saying.
Because they still look realistic. Basically, I think Persona 5 will perform about as well as Dragon Quest 11S on Xbox.
Which did decently, didn't?
No.
Oh. I think it dropped out of Game Pass.
It's JRPGs don't do well on Xbox.
Because I went and looked it up, and in the most played list, and it was there right at the bottom for a week, and then it disappeared.
Wow.
So but you say but other games, so for example, a game there's been some indie games that have been what was that one called, Death's Door or whatever, and then that was way higher than Dragon Quest 11 ever was, and was there for way longer. So you need to look at the style of games. I think Persona 5R, I think, like I said, it will do maybe as well, maybe a bit better. The other two, Persona 3, I can tell you right now, that is just going to tank on Xbox. It's a visual novel. Visual novels, they just hardly any visual novels are even released on Xbox for that reason, because they don't do very well. They got the Danganronpa recently, but again, that's a bag.
They did.
You don't see those games.
That's right.
They did.
You don't see those games go in there without a bag. They got AI, the Somnium Files, whatever that's called.
Fantastic game. New game comes out in 2 weeks.
They're not getting. They're not getting a new one. The new one's not going there.
Yes, it is. It's going to Xbox.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be on Xbox.
Okay, well, I'll take that back then. But yeah, they for most of these games they get bags for them basically, which is fine. If they want these games on the platform, it's fine. I've got no problem with them paying for it. But basically, they're doing it to they're saying, oh look, we have these games too, and it's to provide variety for Game Pass subscribers. They're not necessarily doing it because they think, well, we're going to make loads of money for it. Because like you said, they did the announcement, there was this embargo. It's oh, it's Xbox. They got these Persona games and everything. It's for that. It's for the PR and everything.
My next question is a perfect transition with our current topic, but I do want to shout out once again Peter Parker, thank you so much for the support with the super chat here. Thank you so much. And he asks us, I'm so glad P5R is on Steam so I can finally play it. The 3 and 4 were big games for me during pandemic. I held off on emulating for this. Can't wait for Soul Hackers 2 and P5R. P.S. I also have the CE for Soul Hackers 2. Shoutouts. Another sim. I have mine as well. But thank you for the support, Peter Parker. And again, those games make him accessible. Like when I saw Soul Hackers 2, the first reveal, I was blown away. I was like, it's gonna be so cool. And then I saw that my favorite platform wasn't getting the game. I was bummed a little bit, but at the same time, I'm still glad because it's multiplat and a lot of people will get to play.
Open seed, David. Open seed.
Next, the question again, that is a good transition, comes from Atticus. From the Discord, Microsoft is really trying to push into the Japanese market, while Sony seems to be pushing away from it. Do you see a future where Persona 6 launches on Xbox as well as PlayStation? And to that, I'd say yes.
Not without a bag.
No, of course not. But it would release with a bag because Microsoft just proved that they want Persona on their platform.
Well, wasn't there a rumor going around that P6 is going to be a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah.
That came from Nate the Hate. Basically, I would presume, basically, like I said before, the type Persona series, all these games, they're all de facto exclusives. Pretty much all Atlus games have been de facto exclusive for ones where they've definitely been paid for, like SMT5 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, obviously. Yeah, so the question is, would Atlus would their decision making be so bad that they're like, "Why we're gonna put this exclusively just on PlayStation"? Yeah, I can believe they would do that. They would do that without a bag. Is this going to be like multi platform going to Xbox? Probably not. No. Like I said, it would need it. I think it would need a bag to. Definitely. Because there's been previous instances of something that's gone over. So, for example, like because people say no, like NIS said don't release games on Xbox. But if you look back to, like, I think it was in 2020, they got I think Disgaea 4 complete, or was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4 complete. Was it 4? Yeah, and it went into Game Pass, and then no other NIS game has gone to Xbox since then.
Yeah, NIS games are like even more niche. Like you mentioned, Disgaea, which is like one of their most popular IP.
That is their most popular, yeah.
So the rest is like even more niche. Like the NIS Pretty Presents collections, those are awesome. They only released on Switch, not even on PC and PlayStation.
Oh, and let's not forget Monarch was mid as fuck too.
I forgot about that game.
What?
Everyone did. Everyone forgot about
He brings it up every single show. Yeah, he was able to bring it up yesterday.
It's my top 5 most disappointing games of all time.
You love it so much that you bring it up every episode. Good game,
yes,
by the way.
I do.
The next question comes from Spaceboy on the Discord asking, so now that we got what we wanted with P3 and 5 going multiplat and getting Western events and pop shows of our own, are there any new thoughts about how the anniversary is going or went? Or are opinions the same as in your previous video? And then he leaked the Persona community gave up on the 25th anniversary vid.
I think it's great now, honestly, with this announcement.
I think this kind of saved it, in a way.
Yeah.
Now people are going to be like, oh, it did need saving. I'm just like happy to get some soap.
Soap and some mouthwash.
Of course, all 7 announcements weren't going to be game titles. Now, if you would have told me that one announcement was going to be 3 games, I would have thought that you were wrong.
On Xbox.
And by the way, I want to point this out. I want to point this out on the Persona 25th anniversary website for the Japanese website. The announcement for this isn't like, if you look at like the announcements, they have a certain template that they go like. December has Morgana on it. February has Teddy on it and everything. This new one has a totally different template. It makes me think it's incomplete.
It has Phil Spencer.
Oh god.
Oh, Daddy Phil.
With a bag.
Just a bag of money.
Just a $100 $100 bill.
$100. That $100 for the 100 people that's going to play these
Yeah.
games on Xbox.
The next question we kind of answered already. It's from Mac from the Discord. Shoutouts Mac. Asking us, do you think it's likely that Atlus is holding out on the Switch announcement because of a possible upcoming Direct? I hope so, but I don't think so.
That's what I thought, but I'm not really. I don't even know at this point anymore, to be honest.
I would hope. I would hope if it is coming, that's why. I would hope that they wouldn't announce this 8 months down the road because they've had time to put these together.
I don't see why it would need to be in a Direct, but yeah, it's just.
I mean, get like eyes. I mean, how many eyes are on the Direct? Like
A lot of
It's usually a lot.
A lot.
yeah,
a
exactly.
lot.
So that's why you would want it to be in the Direct.
But Persona doesn't
so you
need
mean
it.
would
It doesn't need the Direct. Like it's huge, and Switch fans, they've been wanting that series to come.
So
For the
here's my
longest time.
question: Who would want it in a Direct? Is it Atlus that would want it in a Direct, or Nintendo? You mean Atlus would want it there for the big publicity?
It's
I
a good
guess?
question, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I never thought
I'm
about
not
that.
sure.
I
I
don't know.
would think Nintendo. They made a Direct mini partner showcase just for Atlus and SMT.
Basically, yeah. 2 of the games on there, and the 10-minute presentation was that.
I guess that's true, but I think I've got a feeling that was like a contractual obligation. But yeah.
David's got a contractual obligation to suck these nuts.
Oh my god.
All right, we have a very generous $20 super chat from Nathan Drake123. Thank you so much. That is very, very generous of you. I really appreciate the support, Nathan. What's up, guys? Just want to know, there are any chance you think the recent surveys that's been happening recently will actually take effect and Atlus will remake some of their beloved franchise like Devil Summoner, I assume is what he meant, and Persona 1 and 2?
No. I think Soul Hackers is going to underperform and they're going to give up on it.
Oh, that's so
Yeah, but Soul
Oh,
Hackers
no.
is a new IP. It's almost a new IP. It's not a remake. Like he's mentioning remakes. Like
But it's a reboot. So
it's
you
a
can-
reboot, but it's pretty much a new IP. Like there's gonna be references, but shit. I know it's the same IP, but there's gonna be so much new and different from the original. And I completed the original 100%. I really feel like it's gonna be very different. They want to make it its own IP, right? Soul Hackers, right next to SMT and Persona. Is it gonna work? Is it not? That's the question. I don't know. But let me twist that question that Nathan asked us. I want to hear you guys wish for one game that you would like to see remade from Atlus. Anything.
Anything. Okay.
Old or new.
Okay, so I have two picks. So first off, SMT4. I made a whole
Yes.
thing about it.
Tell
I
me.
love SMT4. I want
Oh
to
my
see
god,
that
I
game.
agree.
Yeah, I love SMT4. It's gonna be stuck on a 3DS soon. I want to play it on like Switch or something. My second game, I'd say something like SMT1 because I love the idea of it. It seems just really cool. I actually watched Marsh's video on it the other day or a few weeks ago, and I don't know. I just like the cyberpunk thing. I think it's awesome, and I think that game deserves it. I think it'd be hype.
For
agree with
SMT4, let me
you.
just add really quickly. If they do that, make it the same freaking game. Make it look better. Make it sound the
Yes.
same. That's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
And play
Yes.
the same. I just
I don't want them to
wanna-
change anything with music or anything. Just
No,
keep
no,
it.
no! Don't touch it.
Right.
Don't touch the gameplay. Don't touch the music.
It's
don't
perfect.
Touch the story. Yeah, don't touch anything. Just the visuals. That would be awesome. And make it
Maybe
more accessible.
maybe change the neutral ending because that shit dragged on.
Oh,
But
I
would you
hate.
Would you want it to be changed from like the visuals to be changed, the sprites to be changed to be 3D, or
Yeah.
would you
Yeah,
remain
I
as-
think
Yeah,
they could
I would.
totally do that.
Yeah.
And by
SMT5
keeping
style.
the spirit of SMT4,
Yeah.
they could totally keep the
Right.
spirit of it.
I
That
think
would be
the,
so cool,
the only
yeah.
challenge is they'd have like half the demons in the game because it would have to be all 3D modeled. But I'd be okay with that with like 200 demons, but it's just third-person battles. That'd be the perfect game for me.
No, someone
Oh,
just
you're
said
right.
get rid of the
They
smirk
did.
system. You can't get rid of the smirk
No,
system. That's
no,
what
no,
makes
no.
Absolutely
SMT4 SMT4. As annoying as it is, you have to keep the smirk system.
I love how chaotic it is. They should never change
It
it.
is. That's Smack Systems.
Yeah.
Walter, most unlucky for you, misses.
What are your most wished remakes, King and Jodie?
I'll let Jodie go.
That is insane. I kind of agree with the SMT 4. I do think I think Rika was right. This or whoever said that. I'm sorry, I can't remember. If they made the demons 3D, that they probably wouldn't be able to have as many because it's like 400 or something in that game. I loved SMT 4. I actually want them to see them do Apocalypse as well because I know people. I didn't realize people hated on that game until after I played it. To be honest with you, I didn't realize there was any controversy.
It's a good game.
But I liked it. I think the music is amazing in that game as well. So I'd like that, and I also agree with the like remaking or at least bringing back like SMT 1 and 2 because there hasn't been like apart from obviously the iOS version of SMT 1, there hasn't really been like official localizations or anything of those games. If they could like bring them back and like really bring back and acknowledge those characters, that would be really cool. And there are so many other SMT games that will just never localize and stuff that I would love to see them bring some of this stuff back and make it accessible. I would really would love to see them do that.
Or to the Xbox.
I've got what to the Xbox?
SMT 9.
Oh yeah.
The thing with people with SMT 9, I want to say since you brought that up, people's like, oh, get filtered. Like, Xbox does not own the rights to that game. That is Atlus's / Sega's game, 100%.
And they're never gonna bring that back.
If they want to do something with it, it's their decision. They probably won't, as you're right. The other thing I'd like to see, I know King, you can shut your mouth before I even say it. Persona Q, I love that game. I don't care what King says. I absolutely love that game. I recently got hold of a sealed collector's edition of that game recently because you obviously didn't play that game through. Did you even play it through to the end and see what happened?
I stopped during the haunted mansion, whatever it was, section.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't even know what happened in the story then. I love that game. I thought it was brilliant, and I played that. Was my first Megaten game. I had no idea who the characters were or anything, and I thought it was great.
I totally respect that. I mean, Persona Q's great for like. I'm just not a big fan of first-person dungeon crawling games. I think that's old, kind of. As bad as that sounds, I think that's too old school for me. I can't get into it. I do enjoy the banter between the characters, though. Like, I would love to play them like if they ported them to Switch. Absolutely, I own the games.
Yeah,
I should get back to them. I think they're a great concept.
I never beat them, so you're not alone on this one.
It's not you. Tally flick. You take that back right now. It's not one of the worst games ever made. Take that back right now.
You're gonna get Jodie mad. We don't like Jodie mad. Calm down, Jodie. Calm down, Jodie. It's gonna be okay.
I've never played the Q game, so I have no opinion on them. So
they're good. They're fun. I'm just not a big fan of the first-person dungeon crawling. I think that's what did it in for me. The combat is kind of weird too, but I got used to it.
If I had to give out a remake for me, I'm gonna cheat and give 2. There's one because I feel like it would be extremely interesting, and that would be Catherine in VR.
Oh my god, no way.
No,
like,
both for like the visual novel sequences, right? I'm sure King can back me up here. Yeah. But also the gameplay. Imagine the gameplay in VR.
Oh, yeah.
You just knock a sheep off the block.
Right? That would
you just see him go down into the void.
You see him falling down like, no.
That could be me.
Alley Cat starts playing. No, that would be fun. That's my funny pick. Obviously, it's never going to happen. SMT If. I never played the game, but I feel like I watched March video, so I'm pretty sure that makes me a cool kid. The game looks cool, but I feel like there's a lot of issues with like the gameplay, and it would benefit from quality of life stuff. The characters are interesting, story, music is good. Yeah, a remake of SMT If would be cool.
I want to play that because I hear it's like it sets up Persona's universe or something like that. It has something to do with Persona.
Yeah. Watch them call it Persona 0.
Yeah.
Yes, I see that a lot.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to check it out.
We have a new super chat from Afropunk. Thank you so much for the support, Afropunk. Much appreciated. Sorry if you've already answered this, but why do you think P3 and P4 being ported to Xbox after P5R?
So weird to me. Why would they wait to... why would they wait till 2023 to release this? That
it's-
seems like that would be perfect for like holidays.
I think it's the new languages that someone mentioned earlier. That's probably one of the main reasons why it's going to be available in a bunch of regions that it wasn't before.
Right, but they've had time for this.
Yeah,
They've
but it's
had time to
Atlus.
plan. Yeah, that's true.
They took over a year to localize Persona 5 Strikers.
Well, I'll give them some slack for COVID and stuff, and having to adjust to like remote recording sessions and stuff. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there.
Shoutouts Afropunk, thank you for the support. Very generous, appreciate it. We have another super chat from Peter Parker. Shoutouts Peter, much appreciated. DDS HD remaster when?
This year.
Oh, that seems like that could happen anytime,
Yep.
especially
Yep.
after Nocturne.
This year, I'm not sure, but definitely next year.
Definitely for the SMT anniversary.
Yeah. Man, that would be so awesome. Those games, yeah.
I
I'm here
can't.
for it.
That's just unplayable on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Like it makes me so mad because I beat DDS 1, and I was holding off on DDS 2 for when I got my
For the
Steam
Steam
Deck, and
Deck.
it's
I
like
kind of did the
unplayable.
same thing. Yeah.
It
Good
doesn't
thing I
work.
sold it.
Dumbass.
We have another super chat from Sysum. Thank you for the support, much appreciated. Is the PC port on Steam or the Microsoft Store? I saw that it said on Windows during the trailer, but is it on Windows via Steam or via Microsoft Store, Xbox app? It is going to be via the Windows Store, but there's a press release that is going to come out from Atlus tomorrow confirming a Steam version as well. So both
Which is
the
if
answer.
I get it on Steam, that's where I'll get it at. If I buy it on Steam.
I
I
assume
buy it
that's
on
what
PC,
most
I mean.
people
People
will do.
buy games on Windows, like just
Yeah.
on the Microsoft Store.
I remember when
Yeah.
PSL2 released, and it
Yeah.
was only on Windows. It was terrible. It was trash, bro. So I'll never use the store again.
I'd buy
Damn.
from Epic before I bought from the Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
And you play PSO2 on Steam?
Yeah, they brought it to Steam eventually at some point. So.
Oh, okay.
And that's great because like aside from like the massive download size, like I can actually download the game because on Windows Store it hardly works for me.
Oh.
Now, David, you didn't ask me to answer the remake question, so
Oh,
I'm just
sorry.
going to give my 2%.
For sure.
Two-
Go
2
ahead.
cents.
Sorry.
Oh, I've been thinking long and hard, kind of like you, about this whole thing. And honestly, I don't think anyone's really thought about this. I don't think I've ever seen, but I would like to see a Raito remake with like Final Fantasy VII remake
Ooh.
battle.
Oh my
like,
god, yes, dude.
That'd be cool.
Like, I think that would be like,
cool.
I think that it's kind of like, I think that's what the Raito games kind of strive to be in the first place. So I think realizing that they could totally remake both of them with voice acting. By the way, rest in peace, the voice of Raito, Billy Kametz. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He voiced Raito in Nocturne Remaster. And Dr. Maruki in P5R. Rest in peace. Just so
Absolutely.
tragic.
Yeah, rest
But-
in peace.
That's what I would like. Other than SMT4, that's my number one pick, of course.
I'm glad a lot of us agree on SMT4.
Great choices. We have another question going back to the Discord from Spaceboy asking, do you think when Persona 3 Portable and P4G get their console releases, they'll be bundled together in one physical version like Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5?
That would be
question.
amazing, but I think
It would be.
Atlus is. I don't think they're doing that. Because I wouldn't. These physical versions have been announced already. If they were physicals,
Probably. Maybe they get revealed tomorrow.
I think we'd be lucky to just get a P5R physical release on PS5.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be all digital.
Probably.
Now, if they were to package, like, here's P5R, and then months later release P3 and P4 as, like, a combo physical, that'd be great, but I don't think Atlus would print 2 discs in one package.
yeah, I think Atlus. Because I was thinking
Or they
about
could
that. I was
fit that on one disc. I'm sorry. They could totally fit that on one disc, but...
could they even partner with limited run or something? I mean, they shouldn't have to need. They shouldn't.
They
need
wouldn't
to
have to
partner
need
with-
that.
but-
That would
with
sell.
limited run, but that would set. I mean, that would be another option. I was just thinking about that because they partnered with I Am 8-bit to make those Persona vinyls, right? So they have partnered with the companies before. It's possible, but I feel like they could. They could make the physical versions themselves, But I would absolutely love that. By the way, I would love that. I've got a feeling they're not doing it.
Ooh,
In a perfect world, we would get separate physical releases because
Yeah.
I like having my stuff on my shelf. If it's a combo release, like let's take for example like the Spider-Man movies. For the new Spider-Man movies, they have them all packaged in like one combo box. But I like having them separate on my collection shelf. I would much rather buy them separately than in a combo. I know I'm wasting more money doing that, but
No,
I think
get
it
the
looks
appeal.
better.
We have an interesting comment in the chat real quick from KDA. Maybe a big physical collection announcement during the P Sound concert. That's right before P5R comes out. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that
that'd
could
be
happen.
cool.
That could happen. I just don't see them releasing P3 and P maybe P5R since it is a newer release and that's still on store shelves. You can go like to Walmart, GameStop and buy a brand new copy. I could totally see them making physical copies of that, but other than that, I see the other ones going digitally only.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing, because like you can get Persona 5R, like physical dirt cheap, and like in Japan as well, that the second hand, the used market is really big. So you know, it's I think that is could factor
I think
into it,
Japan
but,
might get physical releases way before we would get physical releases.
I mean, yeah,
over here for P3 and 4.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and they would do it. I really hope they will.
Do you think that next question is from Super Gamer Guy 64. Do you think Persona 6 will be multiplat now that it's confirmed there was never a deal, or will it be PS5 only?
I personally think it is going to be multiplat, and it's going to be because Microsoft paid to get their version, which is good. I think it's going to be because I figured Soul Hackers 2 was like the start of everything, you know, being multiplat. Yeah. So I feel like P6 is going to follow, but that's just me.
Hopefully.
But Persona 6, I think maybe not. If Xbox, they may decide they want to pay a bag for that, but at the end of the day, it's like it, you know, are Atlus going to make are they going to make multi-platform releases for that, as in you know as in PC as well and everything. I'm not sure, because like I see what I totally appreciate what the person asking the question is saying. It's like, oh well, here's this logical thing, and so well because of that, Atlus is going to do this logical thing, right? Atlus has shown that they don't make logical business decisions, so that's the only thing I can say about that. I hope you're right, and they will do it, but I just their business decisions are all over the place, right?
The logical business sense would be to have P4G on PS4 back in 2014.
Exactly.
Or at least when the PC version dropped too. That's a really surprising.
That still makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in 2014 they could have Persona 4 Golden could have been on PlayStation 4 this whole time.
And here we are, 8 years later, still waiting for not even no official confirmation for PS4 at least yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think now's the time for a kind of a new tradition of the Demon Appreciation Podcast, which is to ask the chat to drop a bunch of questions while we end the show, and we just skim through them, try and answer as many as possible. I think that's where we're at. And while we're waiting for chat to answer questions related to tonight's topic, I have a question from someone in the chat that I want to ask you all, because it's an interesting question, in my opinion. Question comes from Knights Historia. Do you guys see a possible Persona 5 arena in the future? And I talked about that on multiple occasions on my channel before. My stance is a little different at the moment, so I want to hear you guys on this one.
No.
I don't think so either.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Do you want to hear a reason why I think why that? Do you think that? Well, I think it's because Arc System Works is just way busier, and they do a lot more stuff than they did back when they made Persona 4 Arena.
Well, you see, that's
and I think Strikers was the equivalent of Arena in terms of like a continuation of the story.
That's what I always used to say. That was one of the main reasons why. The fact that Arc Sys, they're bigger now, right? They're doing Dragon Ball and stuff like that. They're way bigger than they were back then. So yes, 100%. Now P5 is extremely big. That's another thing to keep in mind. But the main reason why I'm not so sure that it will not happen anymore is because they keep talking about a new Persona Arena game, a new Persona fighting game. They keep talking about that in their surveys constantly. The last one, there was 4 to 5 questions that were pretty much asking about fans' interests in a potential Persona Arena game again. That was after the release of P4AU as well.
Which sold like ass cheeks.
So for that
Maybe
reason, they're
they wanted to get their
considering
portfolio.
another game in that genre.
But what? So you're saying a Persona 5 arena?
Yeah.
So when? But the only thing is, I'm thinking like, well, when would this game be coming out? And when is it in development now? Are they answering the survey and it's already in development? Because if they haven't started development, it would be years from now, and by that point, like Persona 6 will already be out.
Yeah.
I mean, why would?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I think that if they make a new Persona 5 arena or whatever, it should just be like a Persona arena. They should just make it a Persona game with all the characters and not have to worry about trying to fit it into a story or something like that.
I'm still of the
that'd be
belief that
cool.
we're going to get Strikers too. I think Strikers is our arena.
That wouldn't be an exciting release to me.
Yes, it would. Hell yeah, I
I-
love Strikers.
I haven't finished it. I'm so fake.
Ooh,
I love it. I love it.
you
It's
love
great.
to see it. Game's not that great.
Bro, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear your fucking ass over here selling your fucking Steam Deck, saying Haru's mid, Chie's mid. I don't want to hear your fucking shit. We have appreciation for characters like the ones from fucking Valhalla. We love that game. You obviously don't. Shut the fuck up. This is my show now, bitch.
Let's roll with the questions from the chat. We have a bunch of interesting ones. So once again, just to remind the concept, let's try to answer as many as possible. So I don't mind if anyone has something to say, but if possible, let's keep it brief so we can answer as many as possible. We ready to do this?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Do you think for the P3P re-release, they will insert the anime cutscenes from the MC route?
No.
No.
Will we get more Persona 5 spin-offs at the concert, or are they just going to focus on Persona 6 and other Persona projects? I feel like it's
Strikers 2.
Persona 5's Arena's last chance.
Strikers too.
Yeah.
What are the
I
possibilities?
think they were moving forward. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's possible, but it doesn't seem too likely. What are the possibilities P4G and P3P only release on Switch and P5R doesn't? That would be interesting.
I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could totally see them doing that.
Better than nothing, I would say.
Yeah.
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 Do you think that Atlus doesn't care that much about Soul Hackers compared to Persona, and that's why they did these reveals, or is this just Atlus incompetence again?
No, Atlus has said multiple times that they want to make this a pillar.
Yep.
Yeah,
Final.
they wouldn't develop a game if they didn't care for it like that.
In
They
their
would
fiscal-
spend millions of dollars on this just to say,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Persona 5 is going to outsell us, which it
Yeah.
will. Like, Persona
Yeah.
5 Royal is going to that re-release is going to outsell it, but
Yeah.
that's because of their shitty-ass marketing.
Soul
I think
Hackers
it's their incompetence.
in the 2021's Sega's fiscal report, there was one slide where there was all the Paler IPs for Sega. There was SMT, Persona, and Soul Hackers on there. And that was before Soul Hackers 2 was revealed, so clearly they see it as a pillar title for the future. What do you think is the reason that took Atlus so long to port the games to PS4, but they had no problem porting them to PS3 and Vita on the digital stores, thread ports?
That's different. Those are emulated games.
Mhm.
They're emulated. This is a straight. They call it a remaster. I call it a port. It's a
Direct ports.
Yeah, it's a port.
HD ports, yeah.
We still have a couple more Persona 25th announcements left. What do you think they could be?
Persona 6 is definitely like one of the last ones.
There's 2 left.
Oh God,
The
I'm
next
not
one's
sure.
gonna suck, and then the last one's Persona 6 at the concert.
That's a good anniversary for me. P6,
Yeah.
P4, and all that, and then like we started off with Ultimax. So.
What if the last 2 reveals are like the concert announcements, like P5 Strikers 2 and then P6?
Strikers
I'd
2
okay with
doesn't
that.
sound too likely to me.
PQ3.
Hey, I'm just saying Strikers sold very well, so that's why it's possible for me.
Now that we got 3 ports, what are your predictions for the next 2 announcements on the website? We just went over that one. What?
I still don't know what the next announcement could be, though. That's
I have no idea.
I keep on thinking about
I'm
it.
not expecting something big. Can we get something that would involve crossovers outside of the Q series?
Just artwork.
No.
The art that we got for
Q3.
this anniversary is amazing.
It's really good.
Do you think they'll ever release a Persona 5 Arena game? We talked about that.
I like
mid,
Adam's
though.
question. I like Adam's question. Would you do a better job managing Atlus? We all would.
I think a fucking trained monkey would do a better job managing Atlas.
Do you think we will get a Persona 1 or Persona 2 remake during the anniversary? No.
No.
They're done with game announcements except for P6.
Why was the English dub trailer for Soul Hackers 2 so mid? That's a very
I
good
thought it was
question.
It's a very good question.
That was
Bro,
such
they
a
just-
missed opportunity. Like, they could have dropped one of their previous trailers, which included a little bit of story, a little bit of gameplay, plus you add the dub on top of it. That would have been great. But they fucked it up. Would it make sense for Atlus to release Persona 3 Portable or Persona 4 Golden Shadow on PlayStation Plus Classics lineup?
Would make sense.
I
Yes.
guess. It's similar to Game Pass.
Oh, what, the PS Plus thing? Is that what they mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the extras and premium new subscription service.
I
That
feel like I kind of feel like they wouldn't sell them on there and do that, but I don't know. Maybe they would.
Ooh,
They're on Game
you
Pass.
guys. Marco in the chat. Strikers 2 is the Akechi game. What if?
my-
Oh.
What
whoa.
if Akechi is the protagonist
I've
of
had
Strikers
this
2?
thought before. I've literally had this
Oh,
thought.
that's interesting. Ooh, okay. I got a question for this. Given that there will be a digital version and not make a same mistake like Nintendo for the Mario games for Switch? I'm not sure about your question here.
Wait, really?
Is he talking about the Mario All Stars and releasing them all
I
on one
think
cartridge?
so.
Oh,
Does not
they,
make a
the
same
Mario,
mistake.
the Mario, is it the Mario collection thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped it from the store digitally.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
That was a timed
dumb as
release.
well.
That's
That
stupid.
was. I don't know why they. That was. I don't know why they did that,
So
but yeah,
dumb.
they did. They removed it from, and not only that, they did it with They released like the first Fire Emblem game digitally,
Yeah.
and then took that one down as well. Both completely dumb decisions. I don't know, especially with the Mario games. Like Nintendo could have made more money from those. I don't.
Sometimes I
don't
think
know.
Nintendo and Atlus are ran by the same people because of the dumbass decisions that they make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Sony's remaking Last of Us again.
Oh god.
Hey, I spent $100 on that shit. I'm okay.
I'm actually
Same.
going to disagree, and I think that was actually a good business decision. I honestly think that was a good.
Oh, it's gonna
business
sell well, but
Oh, it's good for
Especially
business
with the
'cause of HBO,
HBO
I
show
thought.
coming out and everything. Hype
Yeah.
is high.
decision. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the show and everything. Yeah.
it's probably
gonna
gonna sell
like
a little bit more than Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
crazy.
Do you
Oh
think
my
we'll
God.
see? Do you think we'll see anything from Persona 1 and 2 for this anniversary?
Artwork.
Probably not.
Some
What are, the,
teacups.
what are the chances of one of the announcements being Risei's bathwater? Seems likely.
What?
Okay.
Bro, she's 14.
Ooh.
It's the Capital 14.
Do you think the games will also be ported to PS4? Yes.
Yes,
Totally.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
Do you think Persona 3 will get a remake at some point due to popular demand in the East and West, along with the question being asked in surveys?
No, I think this is it. This is it. This is how we're gonna see Persona 3, I think.
Agreed. If there was a Persona 5 Strikers 2, would you want some of the P3 and P4 cast as playable characters or DLC characters?
No,
Yeah.
I don't want them to shoehorn them in.
I wouldn't
If they
mind.
did
If
that,
it's not
like you
story
said,
related.
like King said, or was it, who said it? I can't remember now. I'm tired. That they should just make just a Persona fighting game. It doesn't have to
Oh
be
yeah.
Yeah.
like, numbered or what. Or come on, it's only 2 a.m. here. You just give me a pass, right?
I
What
want to
are-
ask y'all a question.
For sure.
Can I ask y'all a question? How will P5R, like its release, sell versus Soul Hackers 2? I want to see if y'all have numbers.
I think it's gonna sell
So
more. With numbers,
when you say sell,
P5R
you mean-
sales P5R re-release sales versus Soul Hackers 2.
So we're talking about PC, Steam, and a PlayStation 5. That's what you must be talking about, because on Xbox it won't sell because of Game Pass. So we're talking about those two platforms, really, right?
Right. I want to know what y'all think, how those two are going to sell compared to each other.
I think P5
It would sell.
can...
It would sell the least on PlayStation because it's already available there. It would sell the most on Steam. Could be a couple of million on Steam.
Yeah. I think it can sell double.
Will P5R beat P4G's records on Steam?
Yes.
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 100%. Absolutely.
Soul Hackers 2 is at this moment I'm feeling like the LTD is going to be like 500,000 like on that. It would absolutely, I think it would struggle to reach 1 million like across all the platforms that it's releasing on at the moment, unless they've got some big marketing plan in the next couple of months.
Any final topic, any final questions that you guys wanted to cover today that we didn't cover?
I want to go back to the Catherine VR thing. I just think that's an awesome idea. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
also,
here for it.
Yeah, I remember there's this boss. It's like a tongue butt creature. I think that'd be terrifying. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's a lot of bosses that are terrifying, Catherine. What
That
a
would
You're
be a
here
horror
for
game in
bosses.
VR.
I'm here for Catherine. We're not the same.
Oh my god. No, that'd be a horror
I
game in
haven't
VR.
played Catherine.
You should check
it's
it out.
great.
It's
It's
really
great.
good. Yeah.
I
The
bought it on
Switch
You own a
version is-
Switch and you don't have Catherine?
Say that again.
You have a Switch and you don't own Catherine full body on it?
Listen, like my backlog is huge. If I bought that right now, it would just be in my pile of Switch games. That's my huge backlog of this that's sitting there. Yeah, I'm going to get around to it, but you know, it takes me a while to get through games. I only just finished Pokemon Legends Arceus. You know, it just takes me ages to get through games. It is what it is.
You can skip Valhalla. It's not that great.
Oh, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
No,
It's great. You're just dumb. You don't have a
Valhalla?
brain.
Are we talking about Assassin's Creed?
No, like it's like written as VA11 Hall A Valhalla. It's like a
that game. It's like a
Visual
it's like
novel.
an indie game, mate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I thought you were talking about Assassin's Creed this whole time.
hell no. We don't play that garbage.
All right, so we're gonna wrap things up now.
Xbox play.
Sorry?
That's what people Xbox play. Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty games.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, now they're gonna be able to play what Switch fans can't play, Persona.
Oh, that's very true. King Gooba is shambles.
Yep. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. If you enjoyed the show, a quick thumbs up really helps. Thank you for watching and listening to us for almost 2 hours. We really appreciate it. And most importantly, don't forget to check out my 3 amazing guests. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you all.
Bye.